Welcome back, guys. In the first part of the video, we're laying up one of the bulkheads in the boat. Steve, who is also my dad, is mixing Cavasil and I'm mixing resin to wet out the carbon pieces. Cavasil is a thickened resin. That's why Steve's still mixing and I'm already wetting out the pieces. I like to start by wetting out the edges to get my piece stuck to the plastic so it doesn't move as much. Then I go in and just paint on the resin. We create an icing bag so we can get the Cavasil in between the bulkhead and the side of the boat. The reason we use Cavasil is to fill the crack between the hull and the bulkhead. If we didn't do this, the bulkhead would essentially just be floating there. We also use the Cavasil to eliminate that harsh edge. If we didn't eliminate the harsh edge, it would create a shear point. Having a shear point could cause structural failure. Then we paint a thin coat of resin to the area we're going to be laying up on in order to create a better bond between the carbon fiber and the bulkhead. After we get the piece hand tucked into all the corners and edges, we come in with our rollers to really get those air bubbles out. At the end, we had to mix a tiny bit more Cavasil to fill that gap between the bulkhead and the hull all the way up to the top, and then we'll later grind it down. This is a carbureted motor and not a 525, but it's used for mock-up purposes only. We've already started engine mock-ups because we need to know where the motor is going to be placed in order to get measurements for the firewall, as well as get ahead on manufacturing some parts that are needed in the engine room. We also measured the X dimension to make sure the transom hole was cut in the right spot. To measure the X dimension, you need to know how far below the bottom of the boat the center of the prop shaft is. In order to do this, we have to make sure everything is completely level to 0 degrees, and then we hold this metal piece up along the running surface of the boat and then measure
Right now,
from the top of that piece to the middle of the
inch
prop
and
shaft,
3/4
and that
below
gives
the
us our
bottom.
estimation.
Inch and 3/4. Inch and 3/4 below the bottom. What's inch and 3/4?
Unfortunately, the
Minus 2
transom hole
1/4.
was in the wrong spot, and we're going to have to fill and fix it.
Still an inch and a half. It's still an inch and a half below the bottom.
Stay tuned for our upcoming videos on mocking up some motor mounts.